Hello everybody, today we are going to be talking about and comparing these two animation apps, tounsquid and Procreate Dreams. So, Procreate Dreams was recently released just at the end of November, and tounsquid has been out for a while, and in fact, because of that, I'm used to using tounsquid. So, these are the criteria we are going to be comparing the apps with. Whether or not it's intuitive, which one is cheaper, and just how I felt using the apps overall. I'm not very skilled in animation, but I know how to do a simple head turn, which I think was simultaneously easy and hard to do. There's a stiffness I have when it comes to animation right now that I really hate, but nevertheless, I persisted. So I hope you like this new setup as well. Starting off with tounsquid, I set up some basic shapes for my character Joey's head turnaround, and I just drew the in-between shots. I drew the first few fundamentals, and then I tried to do a few in-between shots so that I could make the head turn smoother. As for my experience, I feel like it was hard to find brushes that I felt comfortable using. I'm really obsessed with having a brush that feels like it works for me, but other than that, it was really easy. There's all the tools on the left hand side. I'm sure you can change the layout, but this is the layout I prefer. And then there's the layers on the right, and then you have the timeline on the bottom. There's that little label for onion skinning, and there's a loop label as well, so that your animation can play as many times as you want it. What I like about this is that it's very intuitive. The tools are right there for you to figure out what to do with them, and it's not hard at all. And there's also, what's it called? You can also do that thing, rigging. It's called rigging, and then you can also use that tool. I forget what that thing is called as well because I don't use it that often, but it's like the pen tool, and it allows you to do anchor points and all this stuff and make smooth lines. So there's also that, and there's also text. And that all felt really easy to use in the app. I started off with, just the basic sketch, not really refining any details, just making sure I wasn't missing anything in the head turn. And I used a lot of duplication and flip for the for my layers, and I animated every 2 frames, and it was really easy. Not only could you drag out the frame that you were using, but there's also a button that says extend. So this is where I ended up at first. You can see the process from beginning and the few steps, and I just really liked it. I'm not completely satisfied, but it's okay. So now let's get into Procreate Dreams. Okay, so this app, I started off with a different animation, but I ended up using it the way it's supposed to be used, which is in conjunction with Procreate. So I just imported all of these layers into Procreate, and it's also easier to animate this way, to use a full turnaround and then collapse all the layers on top of each other in the same space, if that makes sense. So that is what I ended up doing. Unfortunately, I don't have footage of me doing Solomon, but I have footage of me doing Chloe. These are all of my OCs I'm drawing. It helps to really familiarize myself with this and get ready to animate them whenever I decide. I do want to do animatics and stuff, but that is for a different video, like a chat with me or whatever. Let's talk about Procreate Dreams. For most of the stuff that you have to do in this app, you do have to press and hold down to find the tools. The problem with this layout is Procreate is simple, right? But this is almost so simple that things are really hard to find. It's a lot of pressing and holding to expand the tools, and I think that there's a lot of things missing. I do like how the brushes are the same. However, you cannot edit your brushes in Procreate. You can only import them. I think all the brushes were also too small. I feel like there was a cap on how small they were. I wasn't sure how to change that. I'm not sure that you can as well. It was weird. It's really weird. I felt like there was a similar thing in tounsquid where I don't know the brushes enough to feel comfortable with that, but you can just see me animating frame by frame here, which maybe the flip book would have been more preferred, but I wanted my frames to have a certain length, so I just duplicated and flipped, and eventually, because I didn't like the result of it, I ended up using the Solomon head instead, and went from just putting all my stuff in Procreate and just importing it, which feels a little like inauthentic, I guess. Like, it feels better. It feels like I could have just used the animation assist in Procreate one, and it feels like I'm not really animating anymore. I'm just putting, well, I guess animation is putting drawings together, but it kind of felt like, you know, like I just wanted to use the one app, and to use it in conjunction, it just didn't feel like as fun to me, I guess. There was a lot of stuff that I felt like wasn't as hard about tounsquid that was with Procreate. There was a few tools that I was just wanting to get out that they just didn't have. It was easy to move and flip things once I found out where the move thing was, which, like, if you click that movie reel board thingy, whatever it's called, clipboard thing, and you hold down on it, it will tell you like the tools you have, and you can press move, and then yeah, it's not as hard. There was a lot of grouping, and was something that I tried to do as well, and it was hard. I couldn't lock my layers. That's what it is. I wanted to lock my transparency layer, so you're going to see at the end that Solomon's hair and her face are two different colors, and it's because I couldn't figure out how to lock the transparency in Procreate, but I could lock the transparency easily in tounsquid. So I don't think it's a bad app at all. It was just like so much stuff feels so hidden and everything, and I guess when it gets updates I'll be able to see if I feel more comfortable with it or whatever. But right now I'm like, if I really want to animate, I'll use tounsquid, and if I really want to draw, I'm gonna use Procreate by itself. And little animations I can still do with the animation assist in Procreate, unless they choose to remove it, which I would feel is very unfair to those who are not able to afford Procreate Dreams, or, you know, just don't want to purchase it in order to make cute little animations. So I hope that's not what they do. The reason I left this drawing is I felt it didn't feel like my character at all, and I felt like it was exposing some of my shortcomings with my art and consistency with drawing the face. But here's an ad break. I want to tell you all about my shop. So I'm going to be updating my shop in February for Valentine's Day, but right now I still have some Halloween themed stuff or fall themed stuff in stock. So if you would like to support me in this way or become a Patreon, that would be great. So this is the final result of all my Procreate stuff. You can see me working from Chloe to Solomon, and I don't hate it, actually. I think it's like just fine. I told my family and my friends that I'm not really feeling it, but this is the final result. So let's compare and contrast these apps. For Dreams, I felt as though it was not very intuitive. If you were somebody just starting out, you might feel very overwhelmed, and as though it's hard to get started in animation due to the fact that everything seems to be really hidden. In fact, I watched a review from this person who is really experienced in all these apps, and he said he found it very hard to figure out how to use it, and in fact a lot of people had to give him information in the comments about where certain things were. And it's fine because everything has a learning curve, but I fear that this learning curve is too steep for somebody who, you know, is like me, just a beginner and trying to do something as simple as a head turn and feeling very defeatist about it. Now, when it comes to tounsquid, my thoughts on it are it's very easy to use, the price point is great as well, but it's still missing tools, and I'm still having a learning curve with the brushes. I would like, similar to Procreate, I want it to have a tool that's like symmetry tool or something, or blah 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 blah. But I feel like other than that, it's pretty fun to use, and I just did like a really quick animation in it, and it felt fun, you know? Like, I still feel intimidated doing big projects, but I'm going to try to do an animatic in tounsquid, and I'll let you guys know how it goes at a later time. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful, as you might potentially decide to make a purchase this coming Christmas or New Year's or whatever. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, and then to the to the next stop. I don't know. Bye. Thank you so much for watching.